Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Purnima from Fertility Dost. And today we have Dr. Rutuja with us and we are going to talk about very interesting topic, that is reversing failed IVF. Dr. Rutuja is senior gynecologist infertility specialist at Parency IVF Bangalore. We welcome you, Dr. Rutuja, and
Thank you, Purnima ma'am, for having me.
thank you for joining again. Like we have one session before with you.
Yeah, I had wonderful time like that time.
Right, right. So, ma'am, we have, as you know about our community, we have many members, and almost daily we are getting 2 to 3 calls regarding this, that how to reverse their failed IVF. Because that 15-day time period when you wait after embryo transfer, that itself takes a toll on your mind, your body, and
Correct.
everything. Like you are so much stressful during those days, and after that 15 days when the test is negative, like you uh, show the report shows beta hsg levels are on the lower side, and that very moment we decide that yes, two things we can do. Either we should stop everything and just focus
Correct.
on should be on yes, we don't want to go further. And the other thing most of the people have there in mind, that what next, how to proceed. Like if we should go in next cycle of IVF should be in next month only, or we should give gap of 2 to 3 months to our body to heal it naturally. So how could we help those members, how could we help them in reversing their failed IVF? So first of all, I would like to have a briefing about like what would be the reason of failed IVF.
Yeah. First of all, let's talk about failed IVF. So, when we talk about failed IVF or beta HCG low levels, when we should go for an IVF in the next cycle and when we should wait for 2 to 3 months. So, when we talk about beta HCG negative or less than 5, when you see your beta hcg levels, normally we say a healthy growing pregnancy beta hcg level should be at least above 100. Okay, but if beta hcg level is below 100, like I have seen a pregnancy with baby in hand with beta hcg 50, with a single baby grown well and I have delivered. I have seen a pregnancy twins with beta hcg of 72, and it was an American couple. They came, they conceived, and they delivered also twin babies. So normally I say any beta hcg above 5 is a positive beta hcg, and you should every 48 hours repeat your beta hcg levels. If it is doubling every 48 hours, means it is a healthy growing pregnancy. But
Okay.
definitely after a healthy growing pregnancy, it should definitely have a heartbeat after, you 15 days of your positive beta hcg, or maximum what we can wait is around 1 month after the positive beta hcg to see a fetal pole with a heartbeat, to call it a successful growing pregnancy. Now coming to other beta hcg levels, where beta hcg levels were like 50, 75, 100, 200, and later it started falling. So that is when we call it as a biochemical pregnancy, where pregnancy starts growing, means it starts getting implanted into your uterine cavity, but it is not able to grow further. There can be many causes, maybe uterine related or embryo related, but in that implantation process started, but at certain level it got arrested, and because of which it again started falling. So in such situations, you have to track your beta HCG level till it goes below zero. Once it falls below, means it falls to zero, means it has cleared and patient should get periods. So when beta HCG's level are less than 100 and your beta HCG levels are falling, in such scenarios, you can go ahead with the trial of next IVF cycle in the next month itself. Even for the patient in which beta HCG levels have come very low, like less than 5, as I told you, 0.01, 0.02, or less than 5, 2, 3, like that, they can go ahead with the next IVF cycle in the next cycle itself, because there are not many pregnancy changes. But yes, in which beta hCG level went to a level where it is 200, 300, we could see a G-sac, but there was no fetal pole, no heartbeat, and we call it as missed abortion, or we also call it as blighted ovum. In such situations, yes, you should ideally wait for 1 to 2 months and then plan for your next cycle, because all the pregnancy changes you had gone through ideally takes 3 to 6 weeks to come down to normal. And if you end up into a missed abortion or something around 1.5 month to 2 months, where heartbeat goes away, that time you can wait for 3 months. And now coming to recurrent IVF failures, when we talk about, it is a big thing altogether. Yes, definitely waiting for 15 days with all the medication post transfer and all the injectables you are taking. And definitely when couple come to us and when they say we want to do a IVF, they feel this is the last resort. I'll do this and I'll become pregnant. But it is not like that. It is a different in detail science on itself. So yeah, it is very heart breaking even for a IVF specialist when we see a negative result. We also want everyone should become pregnant in one go. But since I
Right.
told you, always every woman is a different woman. Every oocyte is different oocyte, and every sperm is different sperm. So when we go for infertility evaluations, we never go for a very high level evaluations. We see where the basic things and problems are. In first cycle, we always try to do which is easier things which we see evident were the problems in conception, and we overcome that and do a first cycle. If first cycle you fail, there are few things which everyone has to remember, that you have to be practical when you go for IVF cycles. So you have to know where was the weak link. So there are two categories I categorize, in which one where everything is fine and patient is married but is not able to conceive, where age is good, AMH of the woman is good, means eggs are number is good, woman's age is young, less than 35, husband count is very good, but there was just a tubal factor, or maybe there was tube also patent but they were not conceiving. We call it as unknown causes. In such situations, if I get good blastocyst and it fails, then there is something in the uterine cavity or in the maternal blood which can lead to these kind of implantation failures. Another category in which age is more, or AMH is low, or sperm count of the husband is low, where some parameter which actually forms the embryo is weaker. So in that cycle, we also know that the embryos are not that good quality, or maybe something is compromised in the embryo. Though I have got a good blastocyst, or though I have got a good grade 1 or day 3 embryos, but since our substrates were little weaker, in that if the failure happens, then we know the weak link is either the oocyte, or the age of the mother who has given the oocytes, or it is the sperm which is very low number, or we have done ICSI or PICSI for it. So count less than 5 million, motility less than 5 to 10%, and maybe normal forms were hardly 1%. In such situation, we know which is the weaker link. We concentrate on that. So in a failed IVF, first thing what we should do to make it successful in the next cycle is: one, what is the age? Second, AMH. Third, sperm count. Fourth, endometrial lining, because when we have a good embryo, second thing what is most important is a good uterine lining. So when we put the embryo in the uterus, there has to be interaction between the embryo and the uterine lining, which we call as window of implantation. So if lining is good, implantation chances are very high. If the lining is less, uterine lining, then we should work on the uterine lining in the next cycle. So how we work on the uterine lining is another thing. When I will go for that is, suppose we have good grade 1 blastocyst. So any patient who had a IVF failure, had a very good number of grade 1 blastocysts, maybe 2 or 4, or they have extra embryos frozen for them which are grade 1, then they should definitely look for endometrial causes of implantation failure. So it starts with your endometrial thickness, lining thickness. It should be more than 7 to 8 mm. It should be triple line when you go for a embryo transfer procedure to be started. Next thing what we work on is we see, especially if two IVF failures or three IVF failures, when I come across such patients, we go for something called as, can you hear me? I think
Uh,
there was a loss of track.
yes.
Hello.
Hello.
So
Yes,
there is
ma'am.
something called as endometrial receptive array. In this, what we
Ma'am,
do is
please.
we take a,
mm,
we do a stimulation just like. Can you hear me? I was not able to see you.
Right.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Is it fine, ma'am? Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So when we go for exactly what we do in the embryo transfer, we mimic the same thing. We give estradiol for 14 days, then we do a P4 level. If P4 levels are less than zero point 0.2, we start gestone injection to the patient. And the day we are going to do an embryo transfer, that day instead of transferring the embryo, we take the endometrial samples and we send it for testing. That gives us, they do a test in which they see at what hours post progesterone injection endometrium is ready to receive an embryo. So that is what is called as ERA. So they give us a
Right.
window of implantation in which we calculate the hours and we give that window, and in that window next time we mimic it and do the embryo transfer. But yes, does ERA definitely gives you 100%
Right.
result? No, it is not like
So,
that.
ma'am,
But yes,
like for how many, as you said, error test, so is it possible or is it advisable for each and every couple going for IVF to get into this test?
sorry, I couldn't. Is it
Uh,
possible?
is it advisable for a couple to, like for a woman to undergo this error test?
Yeah, see, if you are, suppose this cycle you have failed, okay, this cycle
Hmm.
you have failed. Next cycle you want to do ERA test. So first cycle you have to give it to ERA. The cycle you do ERA, that cycle you
Hmm.
cannot do endometrial embryo transfer
Embryo
because
transfer.
the ERA
Okay.
test result on itself takes time for it to give you a result. It takes 3 weeks time for it to give us a result. Okay,
Okay.
then
So
so once we get the result, then calculating that hours, next time we do a transfer in the next cycle. We mimic the same thing.
that means if in this cycle, this month, I have my IVF failure, so I'll opt for ERA test in next cycle.
See,
And
once your beta HCG comes
hmm,
negative, you wait for
right.
periods. From second day, you
Hmm,
can start the ERA procedure.
okay, fine. And after that, how many days will be there for to get that
Normally,
result?
if you are sending it to a local lab, there are many international labs also doing ERA test. It is a microarray. Some nowadays
Hmm.
it is available in India also, but I tell them time of 3 weeks, because when I send ERA, I also send TB culture of the endometrium if it is not done before. I even send an endometrial biopsy for histopathology if there is any infection in the uterine cavity which we are missing. So I normally tell them this cycle 3 weeks will give it for all the results to come. And once we have ERA report, we have uterine endometrial TB culture report and a histopathology of the endometrium, everything together, cumulatively all negative. I then start to go for a next cycle for IVF stimulation. Now, again in the next cycle, we are in two scenarios. One is patient
Hmm.
already have one more extra vial of embryos to go ahead for
Right.
transfer. Second is patient wants a stimulation again and to form embryos again. And third situation is in which, because the factor of fertility was not just the endometrium but also oocytes quality, and if we think about donor oocytes or donor sperms, so if you are going for donor oocyte, the cycle is different. So accordingly we start the procedure in the next cycle.
So this cycle IVF failure, and from next cycle we'll start the whole process, and around
Exactly.
approximately it will take 2 to 3 months for next
One
transfer.
month for ERA if we are going for ERA. Second
Hmm.
month, if stimulation we are doing, it will be stimulation. So
Right.
next 14 days means 2.5 months for a frozen embryo transfer with stimulation. Without
Right.
stimulation, if we are doing a donor egg, or we are doing a frozen embryo transfer with the prior embryos which are with us, it is 1.5 to 2 months. In that also, before transfer and after transfer, we have to take different cares. Like I told you, that it is not just the endometrium, it can be maternal issues itself, like women are having antiphospholipid antibody syndromes, or antithyroid antibodies, or APLA. There are a lot of things. We cannot just keep on sitting and doing tests and spend money.
Right, right.
What I see to it is that if my embryos are good and I have taken care of the endometrial lining, I don't want to lose a pregnancy because of antibodies, which will lead to abortions or missed abortions. So, for such things, what we do is we give at least 2 to 3 injections of granulocyte colony stimulating factors. We call it as GCSF injections, which we give before starting progesterone. It increases the receptivity of the endometrium. Then, on the day of embryo transfer, I give intralipids. These are heavy lipids which decreases the natural killer cells, which are our one of the antibodies in our body. Their concentration is decreased in the uterine cavity to accept the implantation. So I do that also. Sometimes, if I feel the endometrial lining is not growing, or it is less than 8, or the blood supply to the endometrial lining is not as satisfactory I want, GCSF is one thing which will definitely help. Along with that, I do 1 or 2 sittings of PRP, platelet rich
Okay.
plasma. We use it for hair, like that we even use it for endometrial lining. I have got personally good results with at least 1 or 2 PRP before doing the embryo transfer. Even if endometrial lining is good, just before starting progesterone, I do 1 sitting of PRP and then start a progesterone. And then, under the effect of, I also give on the day of embryo transfer, there's something called as atosiban. It is a smooth muscle relaxant. So I cover everything so that we don't leave any stone unturned from our side. If I'm putting a good grade 1 blastocyst transfer,
Right,
if I'm doing, I will try to do that.
right. आई थिंक जितना एक पेशेंट के लिए पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट आना इम्पोर्टेंट है, उतना ही वो
उतना
पॉजिटिव
हमारे लिए.
रिजल्ट एक डॉक्टर के लिए, राइट? आई कैन
Yes, yes.
अंडरस्टैंड दैट.
Because it
लेट्स
feels like we are only pregnant every time.
आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड. हमारे ग्रुप में जब किसी का पॉजिटिव प्रेगनेंसी रिजल्ट आता है, तो आई यूजुअली फील लाइक दिस कि यस, आई एम ऑन
Yeah,
माय
yeah.
फैमिली वे.
It is priceless. I am telling you, the happiness you see in your patient's eyes, no.
Right.
It will make you forget all the efforts, everything. It is priceless.
So we'll take a query. We have
Yeah.
many of them. Age is 34, have adenomyosis along with endometriosis. Uterus size is 10 centimeter. My tubes are clipped. In first cycle, got 5 A grade oocytes first. Transfer 3
Okay.
grade 3 embryo transfer. But miscarriage happened. Second transfer 2 A grade blastocyst, but it failed. Second cycle, I got 12 oocytes, 6 grade A and 2 grade B. Next, I'm planning to go for 3 months down regulation, then day 3 transfer. Should I need to do error test since a miscarriage happened in second month? And
Okay. Just transfer. Okay. She had clipping done. Okay, fine. I understood. So first thing is, if you had a pregnancy in first time day 3 transfer, but you ended up into a miscarriage, I think that it is related to the oocyte quality. I would suggest first thing to go for a blastocyst transfer rather than a day 3 transfer. And in day 3 transfer, what happens? Embryo has to go to a blast, hatch out, and get implanted. So I would suggest next cycle first try and talk to your gynecologist or infertility specialist to go for a blastocyst transfer. It has a better success rate. Since first time you had conceived during embryo transfer, so whatever the timing or the gestone or everything what you did in that cycle was perfect. That's why the implantation window was open and implantation happened. See, when miscarriages happen, it is not implantation failure. So ERA will not play a
right,
role in this. ERA
right,
plays a role where your beta HCG is negative. Implantation did not happen. Okay, so since
Right.
you have
This is
become
the very
pregnant, ERA
important
won't.
thing.
Yeah.
Right, right,
So
right.
ERA will not help you. What will help you is going for a blastocyst transfer. Second thing, as I told you, take intralipids, and GCSF will also help you. And since you are 34, you have to understand as your age increases 34, 35, 36, the DNA mutations in the oocytes starts happening. So abnormal embryo formations are very high, so miscarriage rates goes high with increasing age. So I would like to know the AMH to take a call on that. And yes, 34, 35 aneuploidy rates are high. In such situation, abortions and even spontaneous abortions and missed abortions are very high. So go for blastocyst
Okay.
transfer rather than day 3, and intralipid infusions will help her. And definitely look for the AMH and the quality of the oocyte.
Right. And error is not advisable in that case,
No,
this case.
because she has conceived, so she has to
Right.
only mimic the same cycle in the next one.
Mm-hmm. So, ma'am, we have
Next.
another query. What should be done if the cause of failure is unexplained infertility? When should we go for next cycle?
Unexplained infertility is one of the most difficult infertility to treat. Where you know the cause, it is very easy to treat. So
Right.
unexplained means definitely there is some problem between the sperm and the oocyte. When we fuse them or when we try to form embryos, we have to see what quality and grade of embryos we get. If the problem is in getting good grade of embryos, then definitely you should go for first is karyotyping and see whether the chromosomal patterns are good in both the parents. Sometimes that is the issue. And next thing is definitely, as I told you, AMH. Second is sperm number, quality, and normal forms. If you have not done a DNA fragmentation with the oligoasthenoteratospermia, do a DNA fragmentation. If sperm counts are very low, you can go for karyotyping, DNA fragmentation, and Y chromosome deletions to be checked, because all these are things in males which we normally ignore and we only concentrate on women parameters. Sometimes a low sperm count, especially less than 10 million, and more so if it is less than 5 million, should go for various evaluations in the sperm, because ultimately first 3 days of the embryo is dominated by the oocyte.
Right.
Next growth of the embryo, like from day 3 onwards, is actually dominated by sperms DNA. It means male DNA. So
Mainly.
we have to, yeah. So anything above day 3 getting arrested, or poor grade of embryo formations and these things, sperm factor also has to be evaluated in detail along with women factor. And if we get good day 5 embryos, definitely, if you have more than 2 failed cycles with good embryos, do ERA also, and then go for embryo transfer.
So, a list of tests are there. So,
If
you
we,
need
yeah,
to.
male factor, if
Hmm.
we want to look for, there are 2, 3 factors, especially where your the sperm count is very low, like
Okay.
less than 5 million, because ICSI actually was invented for low sperm count.
Low
But you have to
sperm count.
understand that DNA has to be good to give you healthy embryos. So if you are not ending up into a grade 1 blastocyst, at least 2, with a normal everything, as you said, everything is normal, still they are not conceiving. So age is correct, AMH is correct, everything is fine. If the sperm count is low, or if the embryos are not of good grade, then we should definitely at least do karyotyping of both the couple, and do a DNA fragmentation, definitely, and do a ERA also if you are having grade 1 blastocyst.
Okay. So,
Grade 2,
like,
grade 3, then first we'll concentrate on embryo formation.
and when should the couple go for next cycle? Like, one
As
failed
I told you,
IVF.
if they have the beta HCG levels were negative, means less than 5. Wait for periods, from next second day you can start your next procedure, because there were no pregnancy changes per se.
Right,
And yes,
right,
you
right.
should be psychologically also ready to go for a next cycle. But don't be in a hurry. As I told you, you sit, you evaluate. Practically, what were the problems? See, I am 40, it was my first IVF cycle, but at the age of 40, if I have gone with my own eggs, the chances of aneuploidy in the embryos and poor quality embryos were high. So I have to analyze,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this was my first issue. I should first think about donor eggs. I should go ahead with donor eggs. That is the first problem. But I am 25, 26, 28, or I am, 31, 32 with a good AMH. Then that is not the issue then. Then I look at the sperm. That is also fine.
Right.
Then I look at the endometrium. And most important, two things in fail IVF, you have to see first quality of the embryo, endometrial lining. Quality of the embryo depends on egg sperm technique which
Right.
was done. See, now when I talk about ICSI, there is something called as spindle ICSI, which will help in higher age women, in which we see the spindle of meiosis, because when you age, your oocyte meiosis gets affected. That is how miscarriages and poor grade of embryos are formed. So there are higher techniques for that. So yes, technology, embryologist, like day 3 to day 5 conversions. I prefer doing a day 5 blastocyst until and unless I feel I won't be having a blasto transfer. I don't do a day 3 transfer. It's like that. It is how this is how we analyze. So analyze everything in the next month. See what are the problems. Try to evaluate it further. Come to a practical conclusions with at least 2 or 3 options. Then you go ahead
Right.
with it.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
like if
Right.
sperm is the factor, I either tell them next cycle you do 50-50, 10 oocytes you do with self sperm, 10 oocytes you do it with donor sperms. Freeze embryos in different vials. Whichever are grade 1, then you take a call on transferring. And if oocyte is the problem, then I would suggest to go for a donor oocyte. And if everything is fine, then do a ERA, form good embryos and do a transfer.
So, ma'am, the query was with the failure in unexplained infertility. So here the age of the lady is 35
Mm-hmm.
and AMH is 1.9, and but the
Okay.
sperm count is good and embryo didn't form.
Yes. So 1.9 AMH is at a lower side. We call is at a normally I take a normal ovarian reserve when AMH is between 2.5 to 4.5. Anything above 4.5 I consider to be PCO. Less than 2.5 I consider it as low ovarian reserve. Anything below 1 I call it as very poor ovarian reserve. So 1.9 you might be having maybe less than 10 eggs. So when we are starting with less than 10 eggs, the number
Hmm.
of oocytes, mature M2 oocytes, will only be less. So the suppose I got 8 mature oocytes out of that M2 will be maybe 4 or 5. So the chances of those embryos to fertilize and go ahead is less. So what I would suggest is one option, as I told you, you can go for a minimal stimulation as your age is 35. Definitely age is one factor you have to look into. And if you are affordable and ready to take a risk to try your own embryos, oocytes only, you can go for minimal stimulation and go for embryo pooling. But again, you have to be practical and standing there to be ready that again embryo may not be formed. But what
Right.
is the advantage of minimal stimulation is we don't give very high amount of hormones. So we try to form 3 to 4 eggs and collect it in different cycles and try to form embryos. So 3 times you stimulate in minimal stimulation, pool your embryos. If they are grade 1, then go for transfer. But one more cycle, if again no embryos are formed, then I would suggest rather than waiting, go for donor oocytes, because the chances of you conceiving with donor oocyte is like this. Because it will
Right.
be a young age, oocyte quality is also good.
Right. And the
So
age
this
is
AMH and
always
age is the factor I feel is
right.
the
Right.
issue
Right.
for no embryo formation. But one
Right.
time she can repeat with minimal stimulation or classical stimulation and take
Okay.
a look if we get good blasts. If she gets in
Fine.
first cycle, then go for pooling and then do a trans.
So, more than one self cycle, doctor is suggesting that don't go beyond that because age is the main factor in your case, as
Yeah,
the age is
age
30,
and AMH also you should repeat it again because after one
1.9.
stimulation,
Right.
it must have fallen again.
Right. Right. Right.
But anything less than 2 with age 35, I think oocyte is the issue. But still, she can
Issue.
try one more time. Yeah. if they are affordable and can take standing at the same position again in the next cycle,
Right,
they
right.
can take a call.
So we can say there is always hope.
Yes, there's always hope. We see so many PCODs also. We get,
Hmm.
n number of oocytes, and, in PCOD sometimes you even get 20, 20, 25 oocytes also. Still, there are no embryo formations. Because in that
Hmm.
also there is some intrinsic factor issues which lead to no embryo formations. For them also, again going for one more cycle, stimulation definitely gives good result in PCOD also. It's not just that poor ovarian reserve, even very bad PCOD with AMH two digits, 16,
Hmm.
18, they also have oocyte quality issue. There
Okay.
also you will need 2 to 3 cycles to get good embryos.
So next we have, please suggest any tips or supplements which helps to prepare body for IVF. Does wheatgrass helps in lowering high FSH hormone levels?
Okay, first thing, supplement to prepare you for IVF is, if depends on what what side of AMH you are. If you are PCOD, then I would like to give you insulin resistant sensitizers like metformin or myoinositol, or there are some natural extracts for preventing PCOD, and folic acid definitely. Along with that, maybe a D3 supplements or calcium supplements. If you are at a poor ovarian reserve, I would like to give prepare you for a month or two with DHEA, and leucine, some amino acids, and few supplements along with D3. Now coming to wheatgrass and FSH, you have to understand FSH increases only when there is a low ovarian reserve. If your egg number and
Okay.
AMH is falling, then only your FSH starts increasing, because body gets a signal that eggs are not forming. So brain tries to form the egg. In that effect, the FSH increases. It is not related to what you eat. It is related to what is your AMH. High FSH levels indicates you are going to menopause. So that is a change of a menopause which cannot be prevented by drinking wheatgrass. Wheatgrass itself is a chlorophyll, and it increases your plant extracts and other things, but it won't lead to decreasing your high FSH levels. It may
Okay.
help in distressing and making your lifestyle healthy by increasing fiber and chlorophyll.
But yes, FSH cannot be like
Yeah, it
effect
is
of
a
FSH
response
cannot
to
reverse.
AMH. Huh.
Right,
So
right.
when you're menopause, you do a FSH level of a menopause woman, it will be high because she is menopaused.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Right.
like that. Yeah.
आई थिंक बहुत सारे मिथ्स हैं सप्लीमेंट्स को लेकर, खाने पीने की चीजों
Yes.
को लेकर. सो यस, डोंट वरी, वील टेक ईच एंड एवरी कमेंट्स एज वी ट्राई आवर लेवल बेस्ट. बट डॉक्टर ऋतुजा, इन द कमिंग वीक शी इज be also coming live with us on Insta. So
Yeah.
if by chance you missed this session or you left with some of your queries, so Insta Live is on our cards next week, so you can join her
Definitely.
also.
You can put
And
in queries there.
right. So one more thing, Dr. Rutuja. Recently, we
Yeah.
have one positive pregnancy result from your clinic, Parency, with
Yeah.
Dr. Rutuja. So on this platform, I really want to appreciate your efforts that you
Oh,
have
thank
put
you.
in that case, and it really it's a kind of thing that we admire about you, कि आपने इतनी कोशिश की और इतने अच्छे से उस केस को पॉजिटिव बनाया. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस आवर होल कम्युनिटी इज फीलिंग पॉजिटिव कि यस, वी हैव अ चांस.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That patient actually came from my last talk, and she said she wants to come here. She came, and lucky. Actually, I told her go for 3 cycles. We'll take a call, and it is God's grace that she conceived in first cycle only,
फर्स्ट साइकिल
and
ओनली, राइट.
it is going well as of now. It is triplets going on, so we are planning for reduction most probably. So it will
ओके.
be twins. Hopefully, it's going well as of now. Touch wood.
चलो, टच वुड
And
फ्रॉम
thank
आवर साइड.
you that because of through you, I got one patient, and she has conceived, and the happiness which she she came, and the trust which she came with, I could live up to all of you people. So thank you for giving the opportunity and keeping that trust on me.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's proceed further. What happens with Lupron when you take 3 months before transfer in adenomyosis?
Yeah, so Lupron or Decapeptyl, these are GnRH agonists, which we give for endometriosis and adenomyosis before transfer. How many Lupron injections or Lupride injection or Deca injection to be given depends on how bad is your adenomyosis, that how bulky is your uterus and how distorted is your cavity, and even if it is endometriosis, how big are the endometriomas,
Dr. Rutuja, I think there's
can
some
you hear me?
network
It
issue.
was paused.
Yeah. Right.
So this fine. Yeah. So how big your chocolate cyst or endometriomas are. So sometimes I have given Lupride injection for 6 months also to some patients when it is very, very bulky uterus. So what these injection do is it any adenomyosis, endometriosis, or fibroid uterus increases under the influence of estrogen. They are all estrogen dependent growths. So, when we give a GnRH agonist, it decreases your estrogen level. Basically, it creates a pseudomenopause condition. Pseudomenopause condition, and because of that, everything starts shrinking. It won't go off completely, but it will shrink in size. So what do I mean by shrinking? It goes in size, give us the endometrium to give a embryo transfer. Second thing, it decreases inflammatory reactions which are due to anything abnormal growing in the body. There will be inflammatory reactions to it. So all the antigen antibodies, everything will be there in the adenomyotic or myoma or endometriotic area, which will not differentiate between your embryo and the abnormal growth. So it will may eat away our embryos also. So basically we give it to decrease the inflammation of that area, so that we can form our endometrium under that effect and do a embryo transfer. So that is why it is given in adenomyosis. It decreases inflammatory mediators, it decreases the size of the adenomyosis, makes the uterus what you call it as a hostile environment into a calm environment to do a embryo transfer. And in failed IVFs, if prior failures, I give one Lupron injection before transfer, even if there is no adenomyosis or endometriosis or anything. We call it as down regulation and doing an embryo transfer. That also helps in giving a good result.
Okay.
It
So
improves the receptivity.
right. So 3 months before transfer in adenomyosis,
Monthly
I
it is
think
given, yeah.
monthly. Right.
Yeah. 3.75 mg we give it.
So next we have age 31, unexplained infertility, IVF failure in grade 1 excellence
Excellent
embryo.
embryo.
If in
In the
same
same
cycle
cycle.
got grade 1 and grade 2 embryos, then what is the chance of success if we go for third IVF?
Okay, so you had first IVF with grade 1 embryos, second embryo transfer was with grade 2 embryos.
Grade 2.
Yeah, so I would like to see how is your endometrium, whether it was more than 8 mm or less than 8 mm. That is one thing. Second thing, I would also like to know what is your AMH, because you got two vials since you have undergone two transfers. If everything looks okay, your age is 31, so I think you can go for again formation of embryos. Try for a blastocyst transfer with laser assisted hatching before the transfer. If you get good grade 1 laser embryos, go for laser assisted hatching before transfer. And if you are affordable, you can go for ERA, and just you can even go for, as I told you, endometrial TB culture and hysteroscopy if you want to, because unexplained sometimes hysteroscopy can give us endometrial samples which we send can be TB positive. Sometimes everything looks okay, we just take an endometrial sample and send it, it comes TB positive, and if TB is positive in the endometrium, we will not get results. because I have personally seen a young couple coming, beautiful endometrium, beautiful embryos, transferred once, negative, transferred second while negative. Then I thought I'll go do a hysteroscopy. Went inside, took endometrial samples, sent it for testing. It came TB positive, then TB treated, came again, did the third vial transfer, and they have conceived. So, yes, look for the endometrial factor also, but first concentrate on grade 1 blastocysts with laser assisted hatching. And as I told you, intralipid and other things which we
Right.
follow during the transfer next.
So lot many things, lot many procedures to follow
Yeah,
before
we have to
happening.
analyze and plan the next
Right.
cycle.
And yes, every
Individualization of
person.
the treatment is important.
Right. That is very important.
Very
So
important.
next we have, I had three FAT failures with day 3 embryos. Then I conceived naturally, but miscarried in 5th month. Now my FSH is high and AFC low. Low AMH
Uh,
also. Is IVF possible for me?
Yes, IVF is possible for you, madam. Go for donor eggs. Your FSH is high, which indicates your AMH is low, and that is why your antral follicular count is low. Though
Hmm.
you had FAT with day 3 embryos did not grow till day 5, is itself indicates that the quality of oocytes is not good. Another thing is miscarriage at 5th month also indicates towards the same thing, that the quality of embryos are poor. So I would suggest you go for a donor egg. You will definitely conceive in first cycle. Mark my words.
Right. Uh, ओके मेरे ओवम पिकअप पर दो ही एग्स मिले AMH इज 1.2 और भी मेरा ट्रांसफर है एज 24 क्या चांसेस हैं सक्सेस के ओके AMH इज लो एंड ओवम पिकअप शी
You
ओनली
got
गेट्स
two
2 eggs.
eggs, but how many embryos you got out of two eggs is what I want to know. And whether it is two day 5 embryos or it is two day 3 embryos
Right,
is what I would
that
not.
is
If it is two day 5 embryos, you have very good chances of conceiving. If it is two grade 1, 8 cell day 3 embryos. Now, day 3 embryos can be 6 cell, can be 8 cell also. So, 8 cell, very well grade 1 embryos, you still have a good chance of conceiving because you're young. If your endometrial lining is good, don't worry. But if you have got two eggs, how many embryos and what is the quality? If quality is not good, then chances of conception are not zero anyways, because embryo we have to give it a chance to grow in the uterus. If we have embryos, definitely take a chance, but anything less than grade 1, the chances of conception are 40%, 30 to 40%. So be practical. Whatever embryos you have, go ahead with the transfer. Does not work, then maybe we'll have to work out on it further. But yes, AMH is low, so we have to see how many oocytes we can
राइट
get.
एंड आई वुड सजेस्ट हर कि अगर आपने एक टेली कंसल्टेशन लेना है डॉक्टर ऋतुजा के साथ तो प्लीज लेट अस नो बिकॉज ऑन दिस प्लेटफॉर्म क्वेरीज बहुत ज़्यादा हैं एंड पर्सनलाइज अटेंशन नहीं दे पाएंगे शायद एंड जितना क्वेश्चन आपने लिखा है वो बहुत थोड़ा है वी
Yeah.
वोंट बी एबल टू समराइज द थिंग सो प्लीज कॉन्टेक्ट अस you know our number and all that, so we'll arrange a call with Dr. Rutuja and आप सारी queries उस time पे आराम से पूछ सकते हैं.
Yeah, we can take it one on one. Yeah.
Right. So Saima is saying thank you, Dr. Rutuja.
Saima. Okay.
So we need this self-appreciation post as well.
Yeah, it gives us motivation to move on.
Right. So, how important is hysteroscopy before embryo transfer? Should hysteroscopy be done only after first IVF failure, or should it be done as a precaution before the ET?
See, hysteroscopy I do depending on my scan. If I do a scan and I see there is a uterine septum, or it is a arcuate uterus, or I feel the endometrial lining is less than 8 mm or 7 mm and it is not triple line, or if I see collection in the endometrial cavity like cyst or polyps or fibroids, I will do the hysteroscopy before embryo transfer. So how I plan my transfer is any couple comes to me for the first time also, my first target is to get good embryos. If I have good embryos, then I will work on the uterine lining. So once the embryos are formed, then we start working on the uterine lining. If it is polyp, septum, any collection in the endometrial cysts or any fibroid, or I am suspecting adhesions or Asherman syndrome we call, then I do a hysteroscopy, we do a hysteroscopic correction, and then we form the endometrial if everything is good, lining is good, good triple line, blood flows are good, everything is okay, I don't prefer doing a embryo hysteroscopy before my first cycle. Yes, but first failure with a good embryo, I would definitely want to repeat it in the next cycle. First, I'll do a hysteroscopy, do a TB culture and histopathology of the endometrium, and then go ahead with my transfer.
Ma'am, there's some issue with
Can
your
you hear me?
connections. Yes, but there's some issue with your connection because.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah,
Hello?
it's fine.
Did you
It's
hear
fine.
me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, right now you said polyp in the uterus.
पूर्णिमा
हाँ जी सुन रहे हैं मैम. Yes. Ma'am, your voice is clear.
हेलो
Hello, yes.
फर्स्ट आ रहा है लाइव
Your ma'am, your voice
I
is
was
clear.
not
I can.
yeah I
Yeah.
just changed the thing.
Okay.
I'm trying.
It's fine, ma'am. I could hear you. Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I think there's some network issue from her side, so let's wait for her to join again. So meanwhile, you could post your comments, and as I told you that in coming week we are having live Insta session with Dr. Rutuja also. And yes, if you are our community if you are in our community and community members, we are arranging for a live AMA session with doctor also. So you can join our WhatsApp group, and for more details, you can just post here in comment box. And while we are waiting for Dr. Rutuja, let's talk about us, that is Fertility Dost. We have many specialized, customized program for you. As during this conversation also, आप सबने सुना कि बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी हैं जो हम ठीक करते रहते हैं, but then also we feel some kind of failure, और कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा है जो कहीं ना कहीं रह जाता है. So what we'll see is कि we have a coach program for you that is called Fertility Coach Program. And if you want to enroll in that program, और अगर आपको कुछ भी information चाहिए तो please, you have the number, our WhatsApp number, so please message on that and we'll provide you the free call. I think there's some network issue, so we'll just your queries will be answered in a short while. So I have to stop this session because we are not, I think, network issues with doctor. But don't worry, जितनी भी आपकी queries हैं, we'll arrange the answers for that. और यहीं पे आपको live session में ही we'll get connected with you again. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining in. And please, if you have left with any queries, let us know and we'll connect again. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.